Okay, great. Well, Lynne,
Right.
so great to meet you. Thanks so much for taking the time to speak with us.
Yeah.
Maybe we can start by where we are in beautiful, beautiful Marrakech. I understand it was your birthday yesterday, so what's your experience of being here?
You know, it's just been brilliant. I've got to say that the jury is amazing and the master classes have been insane. I missed Agnes Varda, who is my heroine, which I'm really sorry about, but we had a jury meeting, unfortunately. So, but to meet her, and Martin Scorsese and Guillermo del Toro was here and did a really funny and beautiful masterclass. I feel like I'm a student of film, you know, here, to be honest. It's like I'm studying. You know.
And what do you think the importance is of film festivals, and what do you personally look for in a film? What aspects do you look at?
Well, I think, you know, it's a strange time for film right now. It's like it's more difficult. There's a lot of great TV, and that's great, you know, because like hopefully that elevates what you have to do, you know, as a filmmaker. But it's tough times everywhere, and I'm looking for something really fresh and inspiring and new and young, and you know, it's a new generation. I started making films when I was 20, like 22 or something, you know, or 21. Did you see those new voices? Like the first and second features has been really inspiring, you know. And I just love seeing good movies. I mean, I saw Roma. I was president of a jury in Mexico, and I was like, wow, I was super blown away. And it always inspires you as a filmmaker to see good work, you know.
And you've got a very unique filmmaking style. You seem to be led by images. You use lots of, you know, interesting sounds rather than necessarily focusing on the story first and foremost. So how do you characterise your filmmaking style?
It's hard to know. I mean, I started as I was a painter and then a photographer, and so I look at details of people for characters. It's not this. It's through the character and the study of character that I find the plot and the emotions, you know. Those things are still there, you know. They're very scripted, it's not improvised. But definitely I gravitate towards understanding the character quite deeply and hope the audience goes on that journey, you know.
And you've worked for, you know, some of the best actors that are out there, Smith Morton, Tilda Swinton, Joaquin Phoenix. You know, do you start by having these actors in mind when you're writing, or what have been some of the highlights of working with these phenomenal actors?
Well, I haven't always had actors in mind right at the beginning, although in the case of You Were Never Really Here with Joaquin Phoenix, I did, because I felt that I was trying to overturn this genre that looked like the white knight kind of guy that saves the girl. I was like, this is a guy that can't even save himself, and maybe the girl saves him. And so I was looking for a femininity and masculinity, and I think he has got a huge range, and he's just like maybe the top of his game at the moment, and an amazing, beautiful person as well. So he was on my screensaver, but Tilda actually came to me, you know, and she was like, I want to do this, and she took me for lunch and kind of took me and said, it's me, you know, because I thought at one point, oh, maybe she's too extraordinary to be this ordinary woman in a community. But that really helped her being tall and awkward. And when you talk about Kevin, it was like she could not get away from herself. So Tilda's a great friend, and she's also the godmother of my daughter. And all these actors are a band of brothers and sisters: Ezra Miller, Samantha Morton, John C. Reilly. So I will work with them all again. You know, we're really close actually, because you become quite close making the movies, especially as intense as some of the last ones, I guess. Yeah.
And in some respects, you could say that you're quite an uncompromising filmmaker. You know, things have to be right. Sometimes projects haven't gone ahead. And why do you think it's so important to make sure things are just how you want them?
Every good filmmaker is an uncompromising filmmaker. I mean, any filmmaker I really like, they stick to their vision. And so, you know, I don't think it's just particular to me or anything. I think it's just, you know, it's, you get labelled sometimes because you're a woman, and that's a shame. But a director it's in the job description. You know, like you have to be the leader of a vision, and you have to make that vision and be, and also you have a responsibility to the audience and the crew and cast and everyone. And so, I've really had fun, you know, in terms of making films as well, because I felt everyone was really behind me, but you have to be uncompromising to get your, if you have any kind of vision, I think.
Would you ever have any regrets, or would you think that there are any projects that you kind of wish you could have made work in the way you wanted them?
It sounds like a Frank Sinatra song. It's like regrets. I've had a few, you know what I mean? But, you know, of course, like there's been some that, I think you learn a lot from the things you don't make as well, because I've been in prep with some things that didn't go through, and it's like being a chef, you know, like once you've done the prep, you know, you've kind of made it, you know, in a lot of ways. So you learn from things that, you probably learn more in a way that from things that go the reverse of how you think they're going to go, you know what I mean? But yeah, no, I just, you know, every day I think you've got to learn from the good, the bad, and carry on. It's a tough industry, but I've been really lucky as well, and I'm very aware of that. And when a lot of young filmmakers come to me and go, "I'm inspired by your work," that's really meaningful, you know, to me.
And coming to You Were Never Really Here, what was the inspiration for this story? And you know, you deal with lots of interesting themes. What do you think the themes are? And things like the way you deal with violence, you know, we're kind of put at a distance from it. So, you know, kind of what did you want to do with this film?
I think I wanted to talk about something now, I guess, in like the kind of history of violence, and I wanted to talk about trauma and how that also violence becomes violence. And I wanted to talk about a man who was basically not your usual archetypal character in this thing where he's like a buff guy that's going to save the day. It's about a guy who actually doesn't want to live, who comes back to life. So it's still a hopeful film, but I still wanted to make a kick-ass kind of action film as well. I know I can do that, so it was kind of many things,
And Joaquin Phoenix is such a singular actor, you know. So how was your working relationship, and how did you work with him to sort of bring out your vision for it?
Well, I mean, we spoke on the phone. He said he understood 50% of what I said. So it was the first time I'd never met anyone. But I said, I've got the script, I think it's kind of interesting. And he agreed to do it, but he had a very short period of time. And I think he thought I'd say no because it was only a few months. And it takes a while to make a film, but I think I'd prepped the film so much with the DP and the sounds, you know, designer and Johnny Greenwood, who did the music. In the script that I was able to, I'd prepped so much, I'd quite a kind of strong idea of what I was going to do. But he came when the crew came like 2 months before, and he was changing, and he was becoming a quite schlubby guy, but with the muscles, and becoming like a hunchback of Notre Dame. And we talked every day, and we talked about any cliches in it, and you know, like defying the end and what the girl meant, and it was just and not doing that kind of thing that's normally done in those movies. He was very, very interested in that as well. You know, like, it won't be me that saves the girl. You know, so it was unbelievable, and I just felt like I'd met a brother. You know, like from another mother. I always say him. You know, like, and we're really close now. You know. I'm sure we'll make something again. Yeah.
And you know, such critical acclaim for the film, you know, awards. Does that kind of thing mean a lot to you? And do you hope for with the film?
They're a strange thing, you know. Like the main thing is getting the film for people to see, and that can be a political act in itself, because sometimes you don't get someone backing you, even if the film is really a great film. So the good thing about the internet is that people see things, and that, you know, people talk about things, and even though I'd love them to see it on the big screen, because this film is really about sound and music a lot, and getting inside this character through the sound as well, and it's unusual. You know, awards are given to films that already are out there, do you know what I mean? Or the popular choice. But sometimes you just hope that people, you know, they matter in the sense of being a first-time filmmaker. They matter here a lot, yeah. And so it's a big responsibility for whatever we give the prizes to. You know, it mattered for me, the first films in Cannes, and you know, of course, you always think, oh, my film should win because it's the best, because every director thinks.
And very quickly, can you give us a hint about this next film? I've heard rumours of an environmental horror, maybe with Joaquin.
Well, a lot, you know, sometimes you just say, maybe for want of talking about the same thing a lot, you say sort of dumb things, like, not dumb things, like off-the-cuff things. I am very concerned about the environment right now, and I'm very concerned about the times right now, but, you know, you get the kind of environmental horrors, don't you? You know, like, it sounds a bit like ridiculous. No, I'm making quite a personal. I'm writing quite a personal comedy. Where that will go, I don't know, you know. And then I'm writing something very concerned, you know, about our times. But again, it's like, and then I've got several things on. So it's just finding that time to really focus. But yeah, like I don't even want to talk about much of them because I think until they're really fully formed, it's like. But you know, it's funny seeing that people write about when you're writing something you don't know what quite that is. Yeah, but yeah, like we'll see. You know.
And just very finally, you know, great time for female filmmakers. I know you're mentioning the press conference.
No, it's actually a terrible time for female filmmakers. I'll be honest. It's like. There's never been a worse time for women in the world, I think. You know, I think we've regressed massively, and I think it's bullshit to say that it's a great time for female filmmakers or females in general, you know. So I'm just going to say that and, you know, there.
Well, let's hope it changes.
Yeah, maybe.